Every day, you follow a law created thousands of years ago. You didn't vote for it. You weren't taught where it came from, yet it still controls courts, governments, and your rights today. This law was born in the ancient world, and it never died. This is Wayback Now. The world before law. Before laws were written, justice did not belong to everyone. It belonged to power. In the ancient world, there were no universal rules, no constitutions, no guaranteed rights. What was right or wrong depended entirely on who held authority. Kings ruled by command. The strong enforced their will through force. Punishment was not based on fairness, but on status. If you were powerful, the law protected you. If you were weak, the law ignored you. Disputes were settled through violence, revenge, or favor. A ruler's word could change everything in a moment. What was allowed today could be forbidden tomorrow. There were no fixed standards, only fear and obedience. As societies grew larger, this system began to fail. Cities expanded, trade increased, people from different backgrounds were forced to live together. Without consistent rules, chaos followed. Merchants could not trust agreements, families could not rely on protection, justice became unpredictable. Power alone could not hold civilization together. Without law, order was fragile, trust disappeared, conflict became constant. History shows that when rules are unclear, societies fracture from within. People began to demand something different, not kindness from rulers, not mercy, but certainty. They wanted rules that did not change with emotion, laws that applied beyond status, standards that could restrain power instead of serving it. This demand was not about morality, it was about survival. Civilization had reached a breaking point. Without structure, growth would collapse. Without order, progress would reverse. Across the ancient world, different societies searched for solutions. Some failed, others vanished. But one civilization would attempt something radical. Instead of allowing rulers to decide justice in secret, they would make the law visible. Instead of hiding rules behind authority, they would place them before the people. They would turn the law into something written, known, and permanent. From this moment, history would change, because once rules are written, power is no longer absolute. And from this chaos, an idea was born. An idea strong enough to survive empires, strong enough to shape the modern world. That idea would rise in Rome. The birth of Roman law. As Rome expanded, it faced a challenge that no army could defeat. The city was no longer a small community where traditions were enough to maintain order. It had grown into a powerful republic filled with citizens, merchants, soldiers, and foreigners, all living under the same authority, but without clear, shared rules. Justice in early Rome was controlled by the elite. Laws were unwritten, interpreted by powerful officials, and often changed to benefit those in charge. Ordinary citizens had little protection. If you lacked influence, justice could easily be denied. This imbalance created tension across Roman society. The people demanded something radical, not kindness from rulers, but certainty. They wanted rules that could not be changed in secret or twisted by power. Around 450 BCE, Rome made a historic decision. Its leaders agreed to write the law down. For the first time, legal rules were removed from private control and displayed publicly. They were carved into stone tablets and placed where everyone could see them. These laws became known as the 12 Tables. The 12 Tables defined how Roman society would function. They explained how property disputes should be handled, how debts were enforced, how crimes were punished, and how legal procedures must be followed. While harsh by modern standards, they introduced something revolutionary: transparency. Everyone now knew the law. Everyone knew the consequences. This single change transformed justice. Law was no longer based on emotion, revenge, or personal favor. It became structured, predictable, and consistent.
Over time, Roman jurists expanded these ideas. They debated intent, responsibility, and fairness. Legal thinking evolved beyond punishment toward balance and order. Rome would conquer vast territories and rule millions of people, yet its most powerful achievement was not military strength, but legal structure. An idea born in stone would outlive emperors, armies, and the empire itself.
How Roman law shaped the modern world. Empires rise and fall, but ideas have a longer life. When Rome collapsed, its cities were abandoned, its monuments crumbled, and its political power vanished. Yet Roman law survived, quietly preserved by scholars, courts, and institutions across centuries. Legal texts were copied, studied, and adapted. Over time, Roman law became the foundation of legal systems throughout Europe. When new nations began to form, they needed rules that could maintain order, protect property, and resolve disputes. They turned to Rome. Many of the concepts we consider normal today originated in Roman legal thought. The idea that contracts must be honored, that individuals can own property, that disputes should be resolved through evidence and procedure, not force. Civil law systems across Europe, Africa, and Latin America are directly rooted in Roman law. Even countries with different legal traditions borrowed heavily from Roman principles, especially in court structure and legal reasoning. The influence of Rome is embedded in language itself. Words like justice, civil, legal, and testimony come from Latin. The way courts operate, the roles of judges, and the structure of legal arguments all carry Roman influence. Roman law introduced a powerful idea. Societies function best when rules are known, stable, and applied consistently. This stability allowed trade to flourish, cities to grow, and trust to exist between people who had never met. Every time a contract is signed, property is transferred, or a legal dispute is settled, Roman law echoes through the decision. Rome may be gone, but its legal system quietly shapes modern life, not through force, but through structure. The ancient world did not disappear. It evolved. Why this still matters today? History is often treated as something distant, a collection of stories with no relevance to modern life. But the systems that govern the world today were built long before modern technology, nations, or borders existed. Law is one of humanity's most powerful inventions. Roman law proved that order does not come from fear alone, but from rules that apply beyond individuals. When laws are unclear or selectively enforced, societies begin to fracture, trust erodes, conflict grows. History shows this pattern repeatedly. Roman law survived because it addressed a timeless human problem: how people with different interests, backgrounds, and power levels can live together without chaos. It placed limits on authority. It defined rights and responsibilities. It created expectations that extended beyond rulers. Even today, debates about justice, freedom, and fairness are shaped by Roman legal thinking. Court systems, constitutions, and civil rights all reflect ideas first refined in ancient Rome. The question is not whether Roman law still exists. It does. The real question is whether societies remember why it was created. Rome itself eventually collapsed. Corruption, inequality, and the erosion of trust weakened its institutions. Yet its legal framework survived as both a legacy and a warning. The modern world moves faster than ever. Technology changes how we live, communicate, and work. But beneath this speed lies an ancient foundation that still supports society. To understand where the world is going, we must understand what is holding it up. This is Wayback Now, where history is not just remembered, but revealed. Subscribe for stories that reveal the hidden forces shaping your world. Because history is not behind you, it's beneath you.